The end of the season is nigh, but it might also be the end of the road for Albert Riera at Eintracht Frankfurt. Reports from Sky Germany suggest that the Spaniard, despite only joining in February and having a contract until 2028, will depart the club at the end of the season, having only won 4 of his first 12 games in charge of the Adler. And with his job seemingly on the line, he faces the daunting task of going on the road to a place where Frankfurt haven't won in over 5 years. Borussia Dortmund are stumbling in some ways to the finish line in the Bundesliga, with 3 defeats in their last 4 games. But a win tonight will guarantee them a second-place finish in the table. It's the final Friday night match in the Bundesliga, and there aren't many better places to kickstart the penultimate match day in Germany's top flight. It's a glorious evening for football at the Signal Iduna Park, where Borussia Dortmund take on Eintracht Frankfurt. My name is Jezvin Neliseri, and I will be your commentator for this evening's game. Let's go to the team news, and starting with Borussia Dortmund, where Niko Kovac has decided to name an unchanged side from their defeat to Borussia Mönchengladbach last weekend. The only alteration for housekeeping changes is the captaincy, where Julian Brandt will wear the armband in his final home appearance for Borussia Dortmund. So the lineup in full is Kobel in goal, with a back 3 of Reggiani, Anton and Schlotterbeck. Rierson and Bayer are the wing-backs, with Sabitzer and Bellingham in the midfield. Brandt with the captain's armband will play with Samuel Inacio just in behind. Zeru, Girassi up front. The bench today for Dortmund is Meyer, Kuto, Özcan, Metscher, Chukwuemeka, Silva, Svensson, Süle and Adeyemi. Niklas Süle playing in his final season of professional football after announcing his retirement earlier this week at the age of just 30, citing injury-related issues. For the visitors from Hessen, Albert Riera has decided to make 4 changes to his side from their home debacle against Hamburg. Arthur Theat, Fares Chaibi, Mo Dahoud and Ritz Doan come into the side for Hugo Larsson, Oskar Højlund, Ansgar Knauf and Jonathan Burkhardt. To the lineup in full for Eintracht Frankfurt, it's Cetera in goal, with a back 4 seemingly of Amenda, the captain Robin Koch, Theat and Brown. Skiri and Dahoud will be the midfield duo, with Doan, Uzun and Chaibi playing in behind Arnold Kalimuendo. On the bench today, it is Santos, Højlund, Knauf, Burkhardt, Larsson, Bahoya, Chandler, Götze and Amemuni Esh-Guyab. The officials for today's game, the referee is Patrick Ittrich. His assistants are Sascha Thielert and Thomas Gorniak. The 4th official is Tom Bauer. The video assistant referee this evening is Günther Perl in the Kölner Keller. Alongside him is Holger Henschel. We are almost ready to go here at the Signal Iduna Park. Borussia Dortmund are debuting their new home shirts for next season in full yellow, as is often the case with Borussia Dortmund, but this time there's no elements of black anywhere on the kits apart from the sponsor and the decals on the back. Eintracht Frankfurt are, we assume to be, in their away strip of full white, and indeed they are, as they remove their training jackets. Full white kits for Eintracht Frankfurt, white shirts, white shorts and white socks. Borussia Dortmund, yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks. As I said, Dortmund coming into this game with 3 defeats out of the last 4 against a couple of tough opposition in the form of Hoffenheim and Leverkusen, but then also a pretty shambolic defeat to Borussia Mönchengladbach, which helped them secure their Bundesliga status for next season. Meanwhile, Frankfurt have been in woeful form themselves, with only 1 win in the last 5, and that home defeat to Hamburg was quite the blow for potentially Albert Riera's coaching tenure at Eintracht Frankfurt. But the past is the past. We look forward to the present now, as Patrick Ittrich makes sure everything is set. He checks his watch, blows his whistle, and we are underway with Eintracht Frankfurt kicking us off, kicking from right to left, attacking the famous yellow wall of Borussia Dortmund as the ball is at the feet of the goalkeeper, etc. And he chips it forward towards the centre of the pitch. Looking for a flick on there was Amenda, going far up the pitch. It's cleared away by Dortmund. And the ball will go back towards Cetera inside his own penalty area. So Dortmund attacking from left to right. Frankfurt right to left. As the ball is chipped forward again by Cetera in the direction of Kalimuendo, but taken down now by Anton in a central position. About 16 degrees here in Dortmund, in the middle of the Ruhrpott, one of the football heartbeats in world football, certainly the football heartbeat of Germany. As the ball goes all the way back to Gregor Kobel, who gets a few touches of the ball before spreading the ball out wide to the far side. Schlotterbeck fake to go down the line, comes back infield towards the penalty area again, and Anton will chip it forward towards the centre circle. Girassi got a touch on it. It's whacked away by Amenda, nodded down by Uzun into the path of Fares Chaibi here, driving forward with the ball. Make that Dahoud with a couple of step overs, turning away from a couple of yellow shirts, still in the box here, and all of a sudden Uzun curls one into the bottom corner. What a start for Frankfurt! 80 seconds on the clock. It's a lightning start for the Adler and Albert Riera's side. Can Uzun, who bagged the opener last weekend against Hamburg, has done the same in the Signal Iduna Park. In the second minute, it is Dortmund 0, Frankfurt 1. Goal number 8 in the Bundesliga season for Can Uzun, but you have to applaud the work from Dahoud, who kept the ball away from 3 Dortmund defenders, poked it into the path of Uzun, near side of the penalty area, and first time opens his body up and curls it into the far corner beyond the outstretched arms of Gregor Kobel, into the far corner and in front of the yellow wall. It's Can Uzun giving Frankfurt the lead. What a start for the Adler, and Dortmund are shell-shocked inside 80 seconds, but they look to get a response early as the ball win from Girassi went towards Inacio in the middle, but out came Cetera to claim the ball. And Dortmund need to get back on level terms quickly here if they want to cement their second place position in the table. Long ball forward from Amenda towards Kalimuendo. Reggiani under a bit of trouble there, hasn't cleared the ball. Zabitz is there to help out though, and eventually Dortmund bring it clear with Julian Brandt on the halfway line, but he's given the ball away. Dahoud slides it through, and now here's Chaibi. Kalimuendo is running ahead of him, plays it towards his near side instead for Braun. Up against Rierson. Braun gets away from him a couple times, and the ball trickles out of play for a goal kick, seemingly. Yes, it is. It is going to be a goal kick for Dortmund, but Nathaniel Braun has stayed down towards this near side. He is off the side of the pitch, so he's not interfering with play for the moment. Just having a look now to see what happened. He's clutching the area where you don't want to be hit if you are a footballer, under a challenge there from Rierson. He slowly got back up to his feet though, Nathaniel Braun. He looks to be okay. Rierson just having a word with the fourth official, Tom Bauer. And everything seems to be in order. The German national team head coach Julian Nagelsmann is in attendance for tonight's game. Plenty of German talent on display. As play gets back underway with a goal kick from Kobel out towards the far side. Now here with Schlotterbeck. Long searching ball looking for the run of Maxi Bayer, but it's overhit there by Schlotterbeck into the hands of Michael Cetera. And Frankfurt looking to win only for the third time in the last 20 meetings against Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund have won 12 of the last 20, including the DFB Pokal second round game where Dortmund beat Frankfurt on penalties away at the Deutsche Bank Park. Bayer has the ball now, plays it towards the halfway line, but it's intercepted again by Frankfurt. Ball out towards the far side. A chase on here for Doan. The last touch came off of the Japanese international. And the throw-in goes the way of Borussia Dortmund. Ritsu Doan coming back into the side after being suspended for last weekend's game due to accumulating too many yellow cards. But he's back in the side and in his favoured right wing position today. Schlotterbeck chipping the ball down the line, looking for Bayer again, but it's intercepted by Amenda over on the far side. Doan plays it back down the line towards Amenda, and he has to go back to Setterer, who clears it first time away from danger. Towards the halfway line, Kalimuendo took it down nicely and plays it into the path of Uzun. Under pressure from Bellingham, gets it to Teat, and he chips it forward. And a chase on here for Kalimuendo. Korba's come a long way to head it clear, but only as far as Chaibi, who nods it forward onto Kalimuendo. Around the corner now to the provider of the goal, Mo Dahoud. Ex-Dortmund, of course, Mo Dahoud. And now Elias Skiri plays it back to his captain, Robin Koch. And over towards the far side, Amenda and Uzun tried to flick one round the corner. The referee spotted an infringement there from Nico Schlotterbeck, seemingly a handball against Dortmund's number 4. Just have a look at the replay. It looks a bit harsh there. The flick from Uzun went onto the shoulder sleeve of Schlotterbeck's shirt, and in the rules, I don't think that should constitute as a handball, but Patrick Ittrich blew for a free kick anyway. Nice dummy there over on the far side by Doan, but he couldn't quite keep it in play. The ball trickles out of play for a throw-in. About halfway inside the Dortmund half for BVB, who are losing in the 7th minute here by a goal to nil. That very early strike from Can Uzun, giving the Eagles from Frankfurt am Main the lead. Brandt has to force it all the way back to Kobel, who's under a lot of pressure there from Chaibi. Plays it out towards Schlotterbeck inside the penalty area. Comes forward to Inacio, but Bellingham takes over. Under pressure from 2 Frankfurt players. Dortmund haven't cleared their lines properly here. Well, Anton chips it forward. It's gone straight to a Frankfurt player, though. Stabbed forward by Amenda. But it's intercepted by Schlotterbeck, and now the referee's given a free kick here for a foul on Maxi Bayer by Ritsu Doan, by the looks of it. And it looks like he's sort of flicked the face of Maxi Bayer. And the wing-back for Dortmund has made the most of it to win the free kick here. Ball comes towards this near side for the young Italian centre-back, Luca Reggiani. Chip forward towards Girassi. It's cut out by Teat. And then hacked clear by Robin Koch. Taken down again now by Reggiani. And now across to Anton. And now with Schlotterbeck. Niko Kovac said in his press conference that he wants to finish second this season. They currently have a 5-point gap to RB Leipzig in third. But of course, with only 2 games to go for the Roten Bullen, they could very easily close that gap down. The ball's just evaded Brandt's right foot there and gone out of play for a throw-in on this near side for Eintracht Frankfurt. But as I say, they said they want to finish in second place, and Niko Kovac also said that finishing second would mean that they have made progress. And he said that's acceptable progress, considering the strength that Bayern Munich have in their ranks. He also said he wants to give the fans something to cheer about in what is their final home game of the season. It's not going according to plan, though, in the opening 10 minutes. Frankfurt leading by a goal to nil. Amenda on the edge of his own penalty area. He's given the ball away. Taken down by Zabitzer about halfway inside the Frankfurt half, but Dortmund are forced back into their own half thanks to the Frankfurt press. And across it comes now to Luca Reggiani. Into the path of Zabitzer, and again now with Anton. Out towards the far side of the pitch, Schlotterbeck goes over the halfway line. Onto the far side touchline, Bayer chips it forward, looking for Brandt. It's headed clear by Koch. Zabitzer sticks his head in there, looking for Inacio. It's poked back by Amenda towards the goalkeeper, who thumps it long towards Kalimuendo, and he tests it back towards Fares Chaibi. Under pressure from Bellingham, and the Algerian was fouled. The referee's played advantage, though, because Frankfurt still have it. Over on the far side with Amenda. has an option out wide. Here is Ritz Doan cutting in on the left foot, plays it into the feet of Kalimuendo inside the penalty area, but Sabitzer stabs it away. Picked up though by Skiri. Out towards the far side again. Amenda with a cross into the middle. It's gone beyond everyone. And it will trickle out of play for a throw-in. I think it might have taken a glance off of Anton's head on the way through. That's why we've got a throw-in here for Eintracht Frankfurt on this near side. Referee just having a look inside Zeru Girassi's eye. Perhaps maybe some grass got caught in the eye of the Dortmund striker. He's have some sort of visibility issue, but nothing too serious. Throw-in is taken now by Brown back towards Teat, and he fizzes it back to his captain under pressure from Girassi. Out towards the far side it goes now. Uzun coming pretty deep to pick up the ball. Plays it back to Koch, and he'll send it long, looking for the run of Doan, and he'll chase on here. Korbel was in two minds whether or not to come out. He did make the right decision in the end and chucks it out quickly to Bayer. Here is Bellingham now, driving forward with it for Dortmund. Over the halfway line on the far side, still going with the ball. Bellingham was fouled in the process. The referee played advantage for the moment, but Bellingham slides in and concedes a throw-in. Uzun is clutching his right shin there over on the far side touchline. Wonder whether or not he was caught by Bellingham. And on first glance, the replays suggest it was a pretty clean tackle there from the England under-21 international. Uzun just a little bit slow to his feet. But he looks to be fine. It's going to be a throw-in over on the far side for Eintracht Frankfurt. There are a couple of question marks over the fitness of Karim Adeyemi and Felix Metscher for Dortmund. But both have been named on the bench by Niko Kovac, even him going as far as to say Karim Adeyemi will come off the bench should Dortmund need it. And they might need him as Frankfurt keep attacking over on the far side. Doan up against Maxi Bayer. Far side of the penalty area. Curls one in with his left foot in towards the centre of the penalty area. Nodded away by Anton. Picked up though by Brown. But he can't keep the ball in play. It's going to be a throw-in for BVB on this near side. About level with their own 18-yard box. Nathaniel Brown, one of the bright youngsters coming through at Eintracht Frankfurt. One of among many for the Adler. Flick forward towards Brandt on the halfway line. He's trying to nod it up towards Girassi. Cut out by Frankfurt. And now with Arthur Teat back into the side today. Having been on the bench for the last two Bundesliga games. Long ball forward from Cetera in the direction of Kalimuendo. Nodded out by Reggiani for another throw-in for Frankfurt. The young Italian getting a second straight start after Rami Benzabaini was injured against Freiburg in their last home game, where they won convincingly by 4-0 to the now Europa League finalists. After their heroics, a little bit of a loose back pass there from Teat. It's forced Cetera to sprint over to keep the ball in play. But he's done well there, the former Werder Bremen keeper. Just slowly creeping forward before chipping one forward towards the centre circle. Thumped away by Anton towards the penalty area again, but taken down calmly by Robin Koch. And the play sort of comes to a standstill as he plays the ball now across towards Teat. He has to go back to the goalkeeper. Pressure being applied by Brandt, but thumped clear by Cetera. Nodded down by Schlotterbeck, and Inacio pokes it forward onto Sabitzer. And all of a sudden, Dortmund have numbers forward with Brandt inside the penalty area. Curled back towards Sabitzer, who went for the curler towards the far post, but it was always going to be curling away from Cetera's goal. He put the dive in though, the Frankfurt keeper, making it look maybe a bit closer than it actually was. But it's just a whisker away, in fact, from Marcel Sabitzer. I get the feeling he was trying to cross the ball in rather than go for goal, but you never know what would have happened if that curled the wrong way for Michael Cetera. 15 minutes gone at the Signal Iduna Park, and it's looking good for Albert Riera. The Sky reports also suggested that should there be an embarrassment tonight from Frankfurt in Dortmund, then a premature sacking wasn't out of the question, should they have lost terribly tonight. But it looks like it's going well for the Spaniard. Throwing on the far side for Dortmund, taken quickly by Bayer. Into the path of Bellingham. Poked towards Brandt, but it's given away. And now here's Kalimuendo turning away from danger. Skiri brings it towards this near side, and Teat looked to chip it forward. It got a touch off there from Inacio, and the ball will trickle out of play for a throw-in. The last touch came off of Nathaniel Brown, actually, just in front of the nose of Niko Kovac. Throw-in taken quickly by Riasson towards Bellingham. And the ball goes all the way out towards the far side of the pitch, where Schlotterbeck plays it infield. Inacio's come deep to pick up the ball. Plays it towards this near side. Here is Reggiani. Sliding one forward for Riasson, who took it inside, but Teat was there for Frankfurt. Turn away by Dahoud, but he's lost out there. And Riasson's been fouled by Arthur Teat on this near side. That's going to be a free kick for Borussia Dortmund. The Belgian international looking a bit perplexed as to why the foul was given. It might have been the dangling right leg of Teat, and Dortmund have taken this free kick quickly. Crossed in from Brandt, and the header from Inacio is brilliantly saved by Michael Cetera. Wow, that was a brilliant point-blank save by the Frankfurt keeper. Riasson took the free kick quickly. Frankfurt were asleep here on the near side. Brandt chips it into the centre. Inacio with a free header, and it's gone straight at Cetera, who pushes it away with his right hand, away for a corner. Superb reactions from Frankfurt's keeper. And Dortmund will have to try again now from the corner. It's a very packed out 6-yard area for Julian Riasson to attack. 13 assists already this season for the Norwegian right back. It's a deep one towards the back post. There's a header for Reggiani, but he gets it wrong, and it flies wide of the post and goes behind for a goal kick. For a moment there, the two youngsters with two big chances for Borussia Dortmund, and I think Albert Riera is just wanting a bit more focus from his players as they look to keep hold of this 1-0 lead away in Dortmund. As I say, their last away victory at the Signal Iduna Park came in the 2020-2021 season when there were no fans in the grounds in Germany. They've lost every single away game since then. So they'll be looking to right the wrongs of games past. And they're doing well here as the ball has reached Doan on the far side of the pitch. Infield towards Skiri. He'll chip it back towards his goalkeeper Cetera and force Dortmund to spread out their formation. Infield now to Robin Koch inside the penalty area. Has to play it back to Cetera. To the edge of the D now with Dahoud under pressure from 3 Dortmund players. Brings it towards this near side, and Brown plays it down the line. Kalimuendo, first time ball into the path of Chaibi, and all of a sudden Frankfurt are breaking away with numbers. Chaibi cuts inside on his right foot. Still has it, Chaibi. He's going to bend one towards goal, and that bounces off of Anton. Trickling towards the touchline, but kept in play by Riasson. He hooks it clear, but it's picked off by Skiri. Now near side here with Uzun. Played back to Nathaniel Brown. Skiri and Dahoud. Here is Brown again. Has Uzun on the near side touchline. Here is the young Turkish international. Driving forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Back out it goes to this near side. Dahoud infield to Kalimuendo. Back out it goes to Chaibi. Couple of one-touch passes between Chaibi and Uzun, and then the pass from Kalimuendo gets away from the Algerian. And that will be the end of that Frankfurt attack as the ball goes out of play for a throw-in on this near side for BVB. The overall statistics also favour Borussia Dortmund, having won 51 in total against SGE, with 22 draws and 32 defeats. They've outscored the Adler as well, 205 to 142. That was before play today. You can make that 143 now with Uzun's goal. But Dortmund are showing their frailties once again, as the ball down the line from Riasson is going to be intercepted by one of Skiri or Teat. They just about decided between the two the Teat would take over. And he goes back to the goalkeeper, Cetera, who's inside his own D. Brings it toward the near side for Teat. And onwards it goes to Nathaniel Brown. Clearance from Skiri, looking for a run of Kalimuendo. Anton will chase onto it as well. He'll chest it down and play it back towards his keeper, Korbel, who stuttered for a moment before playing out towards the far side. Bayer plays it back to the feet of Korbel, whose first time clearance doesn't go very far, but it's onto the chest of Girassi, and Zabitzer has done well to bring it down. Here's Bellingham, and now out towards his near side for Reggiani. Onto Riasen now, near side touchline. Comes back infield towards Bellingham on the halfway line. Further on to Reggiani. Heavy touch there from the Italian. The ball bounces off of Nathaniel Brown, but the left back was caught there by Reggiani, and Patrick Itrich has given the free kick in favour of Frankfurt. Yeah, on the replay, looks like he stepped on the top of the foot there of Nathaniel Brown, and indeed Reggiani's been booked for that. So the first yellow card of the evening distributed to young Luca Reggiani, the 18-year-old centre-half for BVB, and Nathaniel Brown is requiring a bit of attention here to his left foot. We'll take a moment now to relive the goal from Can Uzun. As I said, it was really good work from Mo Dahoud inside the penalty area, turned away from 3, maybe even 4 Dortmund players, and then poked it onto Uzun's path, and he wasted no time in curling one in towards the far corner. And his goal is what separates these two sides at the moment. Nathaniel Brown is still receiving treatment here on that right foot rather than the left. It looks like he's doing his laces up okay, so should be getting back on the pitch soon. I think he might have to spend the next few moments off of it, having received some treatment. Seems to be walking fine though, Nathaniel Brown, and in fact he is staying on the pitch rather than going off of it. So play gets back underway with that free kick for Frankfurt. Heavy touch there from Uzun. Gives the ball away to Dortmund, but the pass from Schlotterbeck is loose. And all of a sudden, Frankfurt come forward. Kalimuendo's gone down over on the far side. That's going to be another free kick for SGE. This time Anton is the guilty party. And it was a pretty unnecessary challenge to make there from Valdemar Anton's point of view. Kalimuendo had his back to goal. He wasn't going anywhere forwards. But he's committed a foul, and indeed it is a free kick. And a chance here for Frankfurt to get their taller players forward, like an Aurele Amenda or a Robin Koch or even an Arthur Teat. There's plenty of height in the back line for Eintracht Frankfurt. They've taken it short instead here. Brown and Chaibi will chip it forward into the path of Kalimuendo, but it's over the head of the Frenchman, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. Trying these unique and intricate set pieces, Eintracht Frankfurt. It was a similar case against Hamburg, and you could sense the frustration from the Frankfurt supporters when each corner or set piece routine just didn't come off, but they kept sticking to them, as it is Albert Riera's principles as a manager. Chip forward then from Reggiani. It's a long ball, it's a hopeful one in the direction of Girassi, and it's gone straight through to Tetera. And Frankfurt will restart with the ball about halfway inside their own half. Dahoud visits it back towards Skiri, and now Almenda under pressure has to clear it with his left foot, but it's gone straight to Zabitzer. And now here's Brandt driving forward with the ball, has a go towards this near post, but Cetera gets down well and comfortably stops the effort from the Dortmund captain. It was a low-drilled effort there from the number 10 of BVB, but it wasn't anything too challenging for Michael Cetera in the Frankfurt goal. He gets the ball now back at his feet off the Teat feeded the ball back towards him. Out towards the far side now with Amenda. He goes back across the pitch. It's a chase here for Teat to keep it in play, and he's got that wrong there. Aurele Amenda. He's conceded a very cheap throw-in on this near side. Looks like a pretty unnecessary switch of play from the Swiss international, but Dortmund switch it over towards the far side themselves now after that throw-in. Here's Bayer up against Doan. Plays it to the feet of Bellingham. Plays it to the feet of Girassi, who lays it off for Bayer inside the penalty area. Back it goes to Bellingham, who curls one, and it's punched away again by Zetterer. Dortmund are getting the chances, but they can't penetrate the goal just yet. Zetterer forcing another throw-in for Dortmund, which Riesen's taken quickly. Out towards Reggiani now. And again, they have to go across the pitch. Anton, over towards the far side. Schlotterbeck takes a heavy touch and drives forward. He goes down under a challenge from Can Uzun. And Patrick Ittrich awards a free kick for BVB. Uzun is protesting his innocence with the referee. Didn't look like a lot of contact between himself and Schlotterbeck, but the big centre-half went down. And it's going to be a free kick for Dortmund. The strike from Bellingham was quite central in the end. He curled one towards goal, but it was in a very centralised location, which Zetterer was able to punch away with two clenched fists out for a throw-in. And now a free kick here for BVB, with Frankfurt lined up in line with the 18-yard box. A couple of Dortmund players stood offside for the moment, but it's going to be Rieson to swing this in towards the back post. It's flicked on towards the far post for Bayer, but the shot comes in and it flies well over the top from Maxi Bayer. And Dortmund waste what could have been a really good opportunity there. Had a play for a goal kick halfway through the first half here at the Signal Iduna Park. Frankfurt leading by 1-0. They also lead in the possession stats too. 54% compared to 46% in favour of the Adler. Dortmund have had a couple more shots than the visitors, but the statistic that counts is the one in the scoreline. Dortmund are looking to amend that though. Here is Inacio over on the far side, up against Doan. Has to cut back onto his right foot, plays it back to Bayer. Turns away from Uzun, plays it back towards Schlotterbeck. Out to Bayer again over on the far side, driving infield now. Comes to a standstill, waits for the overlap. Schlotterbeck provides it, whips one in for Girassi, and he's missed from point blank range. The referee's given a free kick anyway in favour of Frankfurt. But what an opportunity that was for Girassi. It looks like he was tugging at the shirt of Robin Koch, which is why Girassi was so free in the centre. I think Koch may have bought that foul. It wasn't a lot of pushing and shoving in the penalty area, but it was right in front of goal for Girassi, and he's miskicked it almost. Kicked it well over the crossbar from about 7 yards out. A golden opportunity for the equaliser for Niko Kovac's side, but instead it's a free kick for Frankfurt, which Zetterer sent long towards the opposition penalty area. Headed clear by Anton, down towards Reggiani, and it goes all the way back to Kolbe, who has to launch it forward up towards Girassi again, who chested it down initially, but it's intercepted by Amenda. His pass, though, is wayward out on the far side, and it's out for a throw-in. Taken now by Bayer, and brought out towards this near side here with Reggiani, who's looking for the run of Brandt, but they weren't on the same wavelength, and that will go harmlessly through to Zetterer. And he will slowly pick up the ball and will restart again for Eintracht Frankfurt. Patrick Ittrich is giving him the countdown just to make sure he's got rid of the ball, and he has done so now with a chip ball out towards the far side of the pitch. Nodded down by Schlotterbeck. Bellingham plays it back to the feet of Dortmund's number 4, but that's a loose ball from Schlotterbeck, and that's in turn caused a foul by Maximilian Bayer on Ritsu Doan. That's going to be another free kick over on the far side for Frankfurt. Really poor pass in the end, actually, from Schlotterbeck, and a dangling right leg of Maxi Bayer catches the Japanese international. It's going to be a free kick over on the far side of the pitch, which they've taken backwards towards their own goal. Teat now towards this near side touchline for Brown. Turning away from Rieson, and back he goes towards Teat. Zetterer has come out of his 6-yard box to retrieve the ball, and he goes over towards the far side with Amenda. Playing it forward in the direction of Uzun, but it's another weak pass there from Amenda, which forced a throw-in for Dortmund. Schlotterbeck's taking it quickly to the feet of Bellingham, under pressure from Doan. Turns away from trouble. Zabitzer plays it across the pitch now towards Reggiani. Every outfielder is inside the Frankfurt half now. High up the pitch here for Riasson. Reggiani plays it forward. Brandt turns it around the corner. Zabitzer, this is knife from Dortmund towards the edge of the penalty area for Bellingham. Tries to work the angle for the shot, but it trickles through into the path of Tetra, and he will thump it away. Taken down nicely by Kalimuendo, but Anton's won the ball back very nicely there. Recovered by Reggiani. 15 minutes to go at the Signal Iduna Park. Still Dortmund 0, Frankfurt 1. Schlotterbeck is driving forward with it though. Into the path of Brandt now. 25 yards from goal. Tries to turn away from the pressure from Skiri. It's cleared away only as far as Reggiani. Anton out towards Schlotterbeck again. Out towards the far side with Bayer. And onto the touchline with Inacio. Trying to drive infield, the youngster. Has to drive away from goal though. Back towards Anton it goes. Once again, every outfielder is inside the Frankfurt half. The press from Dortmund is still on. Anton. Across the pitch again to Schlotterbeck. Out towards the far side touchline. Bayer trying to take on Doan. Driving infield with the pass. Now here's Bellingham. Onto Brandt. Anton. And now Reggiani near side of the pitch. About 30 yards from goal. Dortmund are just trying to have him to play their way around Frankfurt. Chip ball in from Schlotterbeck. It's too deep though. And it's straight into the hands of Michael Teterer. And he's gone down immediately, claiming there's something in his eye. I wonder if this is one of those tactical injuries in quotation marks for goalkeepers, which allows players now to come towards the near side to get some hydration and extra tactics. Teterer's feeling something in his right eye. We also saw that earlier from Girassi having a word with Patrick Ittrich to see if he can blow it out of his eye. But Teterer has now fallen down onto his back, and as I said, this gives an opportunity for Albert Riera to get a few more tactics into his players as Dortmund continue to pile on the pressure on Frankfurt's goal. He's having a good discussion with Can Uzun, mainly. And both sets of players are taking this opportunity to get a few fluids down them, almost as like a drinks break during the first half. But Teterer seems to be okay now, and Patrick Ittrich is just making sure that every player is back on the pitch as he drops the ball. The Frankfurt player is a little bit slower to react, but play is back underway, with Teterer picking up the drop ball from the referee, and he will distribute it out towards the far side of the pitch where Amenda plays it infield to Uzun. Around the corner now from Doan towards Kalimuendo, turning away from danger. Uzun though gives it away to Zabitzer, and Bellingham can stride forward with it. Has Bayer running ahead of him, but Bellingham continues with the ball. Couple of ball rolls with Skiri involved. Uzun's there for help for Frankfurt, and Bellingham seemingly has lost out there. The ball has gone out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. I think Bellingham did a bit too much with the ball, and it's gone out of play harmlessly really for a throw-in for Frankfurt. Amenda's taken it, gets it back from Skiri, under pressure from Inacio, and Skiri flicks it up and clears his lines. Sort of acrobatically there, the Tunisian. Nodded down by Riasson. Flicked round the corner by Brandt. Into the path of Riasson, who slides it through towards Girassi. But a great sliding tackle from Frankfurt skipper Robin Koch. Gets it out of harm's way. It's going to be another throw-in for Dortmund, which they've taken quickly with Brandt. Reggiani now. Tries to turn it around the corner there, Bellingham, but he's lost out. And all of a sudden, Kalimuendo is driving through the heart of Dortmund here. Kalimuendo tried to take on one too many, but it's fallen for Chaibi. And now on to Uzun, who tries to curl one. Charged down by Schlotterbeck. Frankfurt keep the press alive, though. Out towards the far side with Doan. Plays it infield to Uzun. Inside the penalty area, Uzun goes. Still with it, but then Anton's there to take it away at the last second. His clearance isn't the greatest one, though. But it bounces off of Amenda and goes behind for a goal kick. 10 minutes to go at the Signal Iduna Park. It's still Dortmund 0, Frankfurt 1. Thanks to that very early goal from Can Uzun. Dortmund get things back underway with Inacio playing it short to Anton. Now here is Marcel Sabitzer. Onwards it goes to Anton. And out towards the far side with Schlotterbeck. Bayer plays it infield now to Bellingham. And Anton brings it towards this near side. Reggiani will stride forward with the ball. Under pressure from Skiri. Chipped forward by Reggiani into the path of Brandt. But Teat is there to deal with the danger. Back he goes to Cetera, and he will pump it away in the direction of Kalimuendo. But Schlotterbeck's come over to take control of that. Played forward now towards Inacio, who's come very deep to pick up the ball. Bellingham turns away from Uzun nicely. That's again, has to turn back again. This is solid defence from Frankfurt in their rigid 4-2-3-1 shape. Sabitzer, meanwhile, drives forward with it on this near side. Rierson tries to drive infield from the touchline. It's won back nicely by Nathaniel Brown, and he's going to drive forward with it on this near side touchline. Rierson did well to recover the ball there, and Dortmund looked to turn defence into attack once more. Rierson pokes it back towards Sabitzer. Reggiani plays it across to Anton. Forward towards Brandt, but it's a loose one there from Anton. Picked up now by Uzun. Now inside the centre circle with Dahoud. Got room to run here, Mo Dahoud. Forward onto Uzun, and he'll thread it through towards Chaibi. Flag stays down for now. He puts it across, but the ball is behind Kalimuendo. And Dortmund eventually clear their lines. The flag stayed down for the entire time there. But the ball from Chaibi just wasn't right. He got it all wrong. And Rierson will play the ball towards the penalty area. Nodded down calmly by Robin Koch. And Frankfurt will just take a moment for themselves to gather their breaths and take control of the ball once more. Teat on this near side. Plays it down the line. First time round from Chaibi. Goes straight to Reggiani. He fizzes the ball into the path of Brandt. Backwards it goes now to Anton. Across the centre circle now to Schlotterbeck. Out towards the far side touchline here with Maximilian Bayer. Up against Doan. Tries to drive infield. Amenda gets a foot in there. And he's won a free kick, in fact, as well, Aurele Amenda. Bayer maybe left one in on the Swiss defender. It's going to be another free kick for Frankfurt, just a couple of paces outside of the penalty area. A couple of Dortmund fans just having a word with each other, not really enjoying what they've seen so far in what is the final home game of the season for Die Schwarz-Gelben. Played forward by Teat towards Dahoud, and Brown's turned it around the corner nicely, and Frankfurt have worked this really well. Kalimuendo, Brown is running ahead of him, out towards the far side instead for Doan. Up against Bayer, shift onto the left foot. Doan curls one towards the near post, and it's just a whisker away from finding the back of the net. I think a few Frankfurt fans thought it was in because it bounced off of the advertising boards behind the goal and rattled the net, but it did indeed go wide. Unfortunately for Dortmund, that counter-attack led to nothing. But as I said, they're living dangerously here, Die Schwarz-Gelben. Not the best outing from Niko Kovac's side in this their final home game of the season. Anton has it now for BVB. Over towards the far side of the centre circle here with Schlotterbeck. Played back inside towards Anton, and Reggiani on this near side plays it down the line towards Rierson on the near side touchline. He plays it back towards Reggiani. And across the pitch it goes again towards the far side, and Schlotterbeck searching for a forward ball. Here's Bayer, who comes available. Again has to play it backwards towards Schlotterbeck. This is good work from Frankfurt, forcing Dortmund to play around them rather than through them. Brandt has come free on this near side. Plays it forward to Sabitzer. Rierson up against Brown, and the last touch eventually comes off of Sabitzer. It's going to be another throw-in on the near side for the Adler. Brown takes it back towards Teat, and now played forward towards Skiri. Brown will play it down the line towards Dahoud. He tries to take it away from Sabitzer, but the Austrian international wins that battle. Plays it back to Gregor Kobel, who plays it forward towards Maxi Bayer once more. Here's Anton on this near side of the centre circle. Brandt and Reggiani, and again the ball has to go all the way back to Gregor Kobel. Dortmund are just struggling to get anything going through the middle here. As I said, Frankfurt are forcing them to play around them rather than through them. 5 minutes to go to the half-time whistle. Reggiani plays it forward towards Guirassy, and it goes through the legs of Ryerson and out of play for a throw-in. A bit of miscommunication there between Guirassy and Ryerson. I think the pass was a bit too heavy for Ryerson to actually gather in stride, but he let it run with no one behind him. Another cheap throw-in for Frankfurt, which they have taken back towards their goalkeeper, etc. He chips it forward with his left foot down the line for Chaibi, who brought it down quite nicely there. Back it goes to Teat, and he will play it infield to Uzun, who gets away from Zabitzer and has kept the ball away from Inacio. He's done well, Can Uzun. And now here's Dahoud. Infield to Uzun once more. Heavy touch though from the Turkish international. It's thumped away by Ryerson over towards the far side. Amenda will recover. Doğan now plays it infield. Skiri plays it back to Ritz Doğan. A couple of paces away from the halfway line over on the far side. Uzun again comes deep to pick up the ball. Plays it across the back line to Teat. Now into the feet of Dahoud on the halfway line. Uzun has it once more. Dances away from Zabitzer. Chips one forward with his right foot. Looking for the run of Doğan inside the penalty area. Bayer having to do his defensive duties. He's done well though, Maxi Bayer. And he's turned and cleared the ball away. But only as far as Amenda. Uzun tried to nod it forward. It's sliced away by Inacio. Bouncing inside the centre circle before being miscontrolled by Teat. And Brandt has brought it down nicely. Turns it around the corner for Zabitzer. He slides it down the line for Ryerson. Guirassy is making the run inside the penalty area. It's found Guirassy, and he's found the back of the net. Inch perfect counter from Borussia Dortmund, and Serhou Guirassy makes up for his mistake and draws Dortmund level in the 43rd minute. Beautiful one-touch football once again from Niko Kovac's side. And it's Ryerson to Guirassy once again, which draws Dortmund level against Eintracht Frankfurt. One apiece at the Signal Iduna Park. The slice clearance from Inacio caused a couple of problems between Brown and Teat. Brandt won it back really nicely and turned it around the corner for Zabitzer. He threaded it nicely for Ryerson, who had lots of space to pick out Guirassy in the middle. There's no offside against the Guinean striker. And first time, with his right foot, plays it across the goal, curls it away from Michael Zetterer. And he bags goal number 16 in the Bundesliga this season. That's assist number 14 for Julian Ryerson as well. They've been a dynamic duo when it comes to crosses and goals. Guirassy profits once more from a brilliant Ryerson delivery. 1-1 in the 43rd minute. And all of a sudden it's turned up a notch inside the Signal Iduna Park. And the former Eintracht boss, Niko Kovac, looks a little bit more delighted, but he won't be happy with that throw-in from Ryerson, giving it straight to Teat. And on the near side, Nathaniel Brown. Chaibi tries to play it down the line. It bounced off of Reggiani. He's gone out for a throw-in here for Frankfurt. Off of the young Italian. Backwards it goes towards Teat. And back to Koch. He'll turn it back towards his own keeper. And Zetterer plays it out towards the far side. Amenda, under pressure from Inacio, has to go for the switch of play again. Teat had to bring it down somewhat acrobatically and fizz it towards the centre circle. He's done well there to bring the ball forward for Frankfurt. On this near side, Brown tries to retrieve the loose ball from Dahoud. Ryerson has done well to win a throw-in on this near side. And all of a sudden, Dortmund are playing with their tails up towards the end of this first half. Reggiani plays it across the pitch now towards Schlotterbeck. 30 seconds remain in normal time. Wait to see how much added time will be played. Tom Bauer, the fourth official, will hold the board up shortly. Anton with the ball though on the halfway line to Bellingham. Infield again towards Luca Reggiani towards his near side for Sabitzer. Plays it back towards Reggiani. It's a little bit away from the young Italian, but he recovers the ball. We've got 3 added minutes to play at the Signal Iduna Park. Dortmund 1, Frankfurt 1. Brandt has it on this near side, turns away from Chaibi, chips the ball out towards the far side, taken down nicely by Schlotterbeck. Has Bayer on the touchline if he needs it. Schlotterbeck's looking towards the penalty area instead. Pokes it on to Bayer. Infield to Bellingham. Up against Kalimuendo. The Frenchman gets a foot in there, but it's nodded back by Bellingham. Schlotterbeck takes over once more. Drives forward. Bellingham rolls the ball on. Bayer towards the byline. Pulls it back for Schlotterbeck to find the bottom corner. And Dortmund have turned it around inside 3 minutes. Nico Schlotterbeck flexes his muscles in front of the travelling Eintracht Frankfurt supporters. And Albert Riera's side have fallen apart at the end of this first half. It's Dortmund 2, Frankfurt 1. Schlotterbeck persisted with the ball, drove forward with it, continued his run into the penalty area. Bayer's picked him out. He's unmarked. Got away from Robin Koch, his marker, and he sweeps it home into the bottom corner. Tetterer rooted to the spot once again, and it was a bit too easy from a Frankfurt point of view. Schlotterbeck just simply curls one in to the bottom corner, and as I say, Dortmund have turned it around at home to Frankfurt. Albert Riera looking for any sort of reaction from his side. 5th goal of the season for Nico Schlotterbeck. And Dortmund lead by 2-1 on the stroke of half-time. Chipped forward then by Uzun towards Kalimuendo. Skiri goes up for the second ball. It bounces kindly instead for Schlotterbeck, and he'll thump it forward, looking for the run of Julian Brandt. Dortmund want another one before the break here. Brandt up against his opposition skipper Koch, and the Eintracht skipper is one out there. Going to be a throw-in over on the far side for the visitors. The top dogs at Dortmund looking on. Lars Ricken, Carsten Kramer, all looking on with a bit more delight compared to earlier on in the game. Girassi just nods it down towards Bellingham. He caught Uzun in the middle of the park. That's going to be a free kick, and Pater Dietrich just steps on the ball himself to bring a halt to proceedings. Sabitzer having a word. Frankfurt wanted to take that quickly, but the referee wasn't quite ready for that. Just waiting for the ball to be placed in the right position. We've played the 3 added minutes here at the Signal Iduna Park, and the referee allows play to continue for now. Ball comes towards this near side for Teat. He'll chip it forward, looking for the run of Chaibi. Up against Rierson, it bounces down nicely for Anton to take over. He plays it towards the halfway line. It's won back though by Dahoud for Frankfurt. Brown tries to get away from Sabitzer. He's fouled by the Austrian, and it's going to be a free kick, but we won't have time to take it because that is the end of the first 45 minutes. It started brilliantly for Albert Riera and Eintracht Frankfurt. After 80 seconds, Can Uzun gave the visitors the lead with a lovely curled finish into the far corner, and it looked like Frankfurt were looking good against Borussia Dortmund, but then 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes right at the end of the first half. First through Zeru Girassi, curling one into the far post away from Tetterer, and then in added time at the end of the first half, Nico Schlotterbeck turned things around for Borussia Dortmund to give them a half-time lead of 2-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt. A warm welcome back to the Signal Iduna Park here in the heartbeat of Nordrhein-Westfalen in Dortmund, where the scoreline between Borussia Dortmund and Eintracht Frankfurt reads 2-1 to the home side after a quick 4-minute double hit courtesy of Serhou Guirassy and Nico Schlotterbeck, turning around the deficit caused by Can Uzun's goal in the opening 80 seconds of the first half. My name is Jezebin Neliseri, delighted to continue the commentary for this second half between Dortmund and Frankfurt. Both sets of players have returned to the pitch. The last bit of sponsorship has been taken off of the field of play as well. The centre circle's now been uncovered to be shown to the fans in its full glory. And I don't see any changes from either side at the start of this second half. Borussia Dortmund will be kicking us off from right to left, attacking the famous yellow wall for one last time in this Bundesliga season. Patrick Ittrich gives the signal to Marcel Sabitzer to play it back to Anton, who lets it go for Kobel, who drills it out towards this near side in the direction of Guirassy, but it bounces over the head of himself and Maxi Bayer and goes out of play for a throw-in for Eintracht Frankfurt, which they've taken quickly with Armenda kicking it forward. Kalimuendo tries to nod it down towards Doan, but that will bounce out of play for a throw-in on this near side, which Maxi Bayer has come over to pick up. Thrown long in the direction of Guirassy. It's going to be cleared away by Robin Koch, and Kalimuendo will give chase as Reggiani prods back towards Kobel, who's backpedaling slightly to get it out of his feet, and he finds Riasson on the far side, who drills it forward down the line for Brandt. Fizzed back in towards Sabitzer, who chips it forward towards Riasson, who's kept going with the ball though. Julian Riasson has done very well to keep hold of the ball, and Bellingham continues on with it. Sabitzer now threads it through towards Guirassy, but it's cleared away at the last second by Robin Koch. And now Frankfurt are getting the bodies forward now with Chaibi spreading the play out towards the far side. Kalimuendo on the halfway line used his body there to win the throw-in against Anton. And Kalimuendo has taken the throw-in quickly. Back towards Elias Skiri in the centre circle, now coming towards this near side for Koch. And here is Armenda playing it down the line, looking for Doan. He's kept it in play. Did he? No. Right under the nose of the assistant referee. That looked like Thomas Gorniak on the near side. He's awarded a throw-in in favour of BVB. Or has he given offside? It might well be offside instead against Litz Doan. Either way, it is Dortmund's ball. It is a free kick rather for the offside, which Schlotterbeck is going to take. Goes cross-field with it towards the other side of the centre-backs, where Reggiani brings it under control. Pokes it forward towards Brandt, who fizzes it back towards him. And he will go back towards Gregor Kobel in goal. Frankfurt not putting on it any sort of pressure at the moment, allowing Anton to take over. And now back at the feet of Schlotterbeck, the goal scorer for the lead for BVB. Here is Reggiani going for the crossfield ball, looking for either one of Inacio or Brandt. It's fallen here for Guirassy instead, and Bellingham will play it towards the far side. Sabitzer shaped to give the ball to Riasson, instead gives it to Brandt. Far side of the penalty area, across it goes in towards Guirassy. It's bouncing on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Frankfurt don't clear their lines. It's gone behind for a corner. Guirassy being a nuisance in the penalty area once again, up against Robin Koch. Got away from the Frankfurt skipper. Will make that Skiri got away from, and the Frankfurt skipper kicked the ball into his own defender to concede a very cheap corner here, the first one of the second half in front of the Südtribüne here in Dortmund. It's going to be an out-swinging corner from presumably Julian Riasson. Instead, it's been left for Nico Schlotterbeck to take. The centre half has swung in a couple of corners before for BVB as one of the few left-footed players on the pitch here. It's curled in towards the near post. It's a really poor corner, actually. It's cleared away at the first time of asking by Nathaniel Brown. Schlotterbeck's recovered, though, to cross it in again. The second time, right towards the back post, where Bayer was unmarked, but it's just overhit and just out of the reach of the wing-back in this system for BVB. And it goes behind for a goal kick. Head coach of the national team, Julian Nagelsmann, and one of the selectors, Rudi Völler, as well as being one of the coaches, is here in attendance watching a plethora of German players on show tonight. And one of them is Bayer, who's not nabbed the ball away from the Frankfurt players. He's gone down claiming a foul against Doan, and he's won the free kick. The Japanese international, I think, might have swung an arm into the face of Maxi Bayer as he kept it in on the near side touchline away from a couple of Frankfurt players. It's going to be a free kick, though, for BVB. 5 minutes gone at the start of this second half. It's going to be Julian Riasson, as expected, as usual, when it comes to a set piece for BVB to take it. Again, Frankfurt have lined up on the edge of the 18-yard box. The left arm is raised by Riasson. Waits for the referee's signal. It goes in. It's flicked on the near post by Brandt. It's bouncing inside the penalty area before being hooked clear by Nathaniel Brown. Korbel's come a long way out to retrieve this ball, halfway inside his own half. Plays it short now to Bellingham. He'll receive it once more from the England under-21 captain. And Korbel plays it towards this near side where Schlotterbeck brings the game to a standstill. Anton plays it across the halfway line to Brandt. And Reggiani plays it back to the feet of Waldemar Anton towards this near side for Schlotterbeck. And now Bayer with a first-time ball in towards the path of Guirassy. It's nodded clear only as far as Bellingham, though. But Dahoud is there for Frankfurt to win the ball back and turn away from danger. Now at the feet of Robin Koch. To Skiri once more under pressure from Brandt. Towards this near side, and Mender will chip it down the line, looking for the run of Kalimuendo, but that ball will guard a play for a throw-in before the Frenchman could do anything about it. And Dortmund get things back underway quickly with a throw-in from Bayer towards Reggiani. Now here's Bellingham. Plays it out towards the far side with Brandt. And Reggiani picks up the pieces. Back infield it goes to Anton. And now here with Luca Reggiani. Forward it goes to Brandt. Sabitzer now. Plays it back on the halfway line to Julian Brandt. Drives forward with it and brings it towards this near side for Schlotterbeck. Poked forward into the path of Inacio. Around the corner from Bayer. Schlotterbeck continued the run, but it's well cut out there by Can Uzun by the looks of it, getting back to do his defensive duties. He's won a free kick in the meantime, and Frankfurt were going to take it quickly, but I think they'll bring it back to take it now as Uzun receives the ball about halfway inside the Frankfurt half. He's gone down again, and it's going to be another free kick. This time Anton was the guilty party. I saw Albert Riera readying a couple changes for Frankfurt, but at the moment Doan was coming forward there, slid out of play by Schlotterbeck. I saw Mario Götze and Jean-Matteo Bahoya being ready to come on for the Adler. Of course, Götze, a former Dortmund academy product, coming back again to the Signal Iduna Park. Back he goes from Amenda to Zetterer. Across the back line to Teat and out to the far side touchline. Brown plays it just infield to Skiri, gets it back from the Tunisian. And Frankfurt still deep in their own half, haven't cleared their lines yet. Brown plays it back to Teat and he eventually thumps it towards the halfway line. Kalimuendo up against Anton. He's won that pass and the ball's threaded through here. The flag stays down against Chaibi, who's racing it on goal and curls one into the back of the net. But the flag does go up now against Fares Chaibi. He's wagging his finger in the air to show his disapproval for that decision and having a look. It's going to be close here. I think Schlotterbeck tried to play the offside trap. The flag went up almost immediately, actually, while Chaibi was racing through. So the assistant referee was in no doubt, and indeed the VAR has confirmed that it was offside. No goal for Eintracht Frankfurt. Plays back underway then for BVB. With Bellingham. Feeding it to the path of Guirassy. Plays it back to Sabitzer, who chips it towards Schlotterbeck on this near side. Played forward now onto Bayer. Up against Doan, driving infield now. Plays it to the feet of Bellingham. And his pass in the direction of Guirassy bounces off of Patrick Ittrich. And that means it's going to be a drop ball back in favour of Borussia Dortmund. Nothing that the referee could do about that. He's dropped it back at the feet now of Bellingham, but I think Bellingham took the touch there before letting the ball actually drop. And now, at the second time of asking, the ball is dropped a couple of bounces before Bellingham plays it back to the feet of Anton. Out towards the far side of the pitch here with Ryerson. Played back to Reggiani, and Anton's dropped backwards to spray the ball out towards this near side here with Schlotterbeck. On it goes to Bayer, driving forward with the ball. Looking for the back heel for Inacio. The ball bounces off of Ritzdorf. That's going to be a throw-in for Dortmund, taken down the line towards Guirassy, using his body there, getting a tug of the shirt, still keeping the ball in play on the near side. It bounces off of Robin Koch and behind for, or out of play rather, for a throw-in. Right on this near side channel. The yellow wall is bouncing behind Michael Zetterer's goal. And in fact, the ball actually did go out of play for a corner. I wondered for a second whether it did go out of play for a corner, and indeed it did. So Dortmund load the box once more. Another chance for Ryerson to get another assist from a set piece. Again, a packed out 6-yard area here for Dortmund. Ryerson swings it in towards the near post. It's flicked on by Brandt, but it's over the top and out of play for a goal kick. And now we are going to see the double change from Albert Riera and Eintracht Frankfurt. Only 10 minutes into the second half, and we're going to see Fares Chaibi coming off in place of Jean-Matteo Bahoya. And the other change is a swap in midfield. 2 Dortmund players being swapped over. Mo Dahoud coming off, and on comes Mario Götze. To a mixed reception, it has to be said, at the Signal Iduna Park. So straight swaps on the flank for Frankfurt, with Bahoya with plenty of pace out on the left side of the pitch, and a swap in the middle of the park with Götze coming in place of Dahoud. Free kick here for BVB as Schlotterbeck is clutching his face. Not quite sure what happened. He's clutching also his left hamstring by the looks of it, and I think Amendes caught both there whilst trying to head the ball away. Mo Dahoud receiving the hugs from the assistants on this near side touchline, as well as his coach Albert Riera. Schlotterbeck is being held back to his feet now by a combination of Reggiani and Anton. Another one of the German contingent that the German national team brass will be looking at. Schlotterbeck himself has got up to take this free kick here for Dortmund. Fakes to take it short, and is going to chip it out towards the far side of the pitch here with Reggiani. Back he goes to now Waldemar Anton. And over to the far side with Julian Brandt. Back it goes to Anton, and towards this near side it goes again to Schlotterbeck. He plays it out towards Reggiani. Onwards it goes to Brandt. Rierson's ahead of him if he needs it. Plays it infield to Sabitzer instead, who turns away from Götze nicely. Poked on forward here to Rierson. He's got away here from Nene Brown. The cross that goes across goal. And Zetterer was in 2 minds there. Doan had to put it out of play with Bayer lurking at the far post. There was another vicious ball in from Julian Rierson into that corridor of uncertainty. Zetterer had come out of his area to go for the ball, but then backpedaled at the last moment, and Doan sliding in at the back post to put it behind for a corner. Dortmund applying the pressure in the opening 15 minutes of this second half. Another chance from the corner here, which Rierson will deliver once more. Both arms raised, right-footed in-swinger. Cleared away at the near post, only as far as Bellingham on the edge of the penalty area. Bayer will chip it towards the back post for Schlotterbeck, who'll nod it down for Guirassy. It's bounced on the edge of the penalty area. Still in possession of Guirassy. And Riasson will pick up the pieces. And his shot is saved low by Tetterer. Bayer hooks it back into the middle. Up went Schlotterbeck. It's not been cleared by Frankfurt. Schlotterbeck out towards the far side. Inacio. On it goes to Brandt. And now the referee has awarded a free kick for Frankfurt, seemingly for offside, I think, against one of the Dortmund players. Just see who the infringement was against. Actually, with Guirassy shoving Robin Koch down to the floor. Those two have had quite a tussle in this game so far. Guirassy has won the battle in terms of getting on the score sheet in that case, but Frankfurt will look to respond here with Kalimuendo driving with the ball towards this near side touchline. He tries to keep it in play. He's done well, and he's got a throw in out of it. Bounces off of Anton. Out of play for the throw in, taken by Doan back towards Amenda. And now here's Elias Skiri. Across the back line it goes towards Teat inside the centre circle. Out towards the far side of the pitch where Bahoya gets his first touch of the ball, but the ball actually went out of play for a throw-in. Or rather, it was offside. Over on the far side of the pitch, Bahoya didn't quite get himself back on side to receive the ball, and yeah, the assistant on the near side immediately raised the flag for offside. Here is Inacio for Dortmund. Across to his Italian youth international teammate, Reggiani. He played a loose ball, though, picked up by Nathaniel Brown. And back at the feet now of Skiri. Under pressure from Bellingham. Has to turn away from the young Englishman. Still has the ball, Skiri. Plays it forward to Bahoya. Now with Teat. Back in field towards Skiri. Plays it forward towards Uzun, who's come very deep to take control of proceedings. And Amenda has fizzed it forward. Skiri got it back from Götze. And now here's Brown. Forward to Kaliomendo. Onwards to Bahoya. Flicked round the corner, and Brown's continued his run. Up against Sabitzer. Plays it infield. Götze lays it off. This is brilliant football from Frankfurt. Uzun curls one, and it's saved by Korbel. The ball trickled behind for a corner, but Frankfurt worked that really well. And Can Uzun on the edge of the penalty area curled one towards goal. It was a bit too central, similar to the Bellingham effort in the first half, and Korbel gets down to parry it away for Frankfurt's first corner of the second half. They've taken it short. Uzun looked to clip it in. It's cleared away by Inacio. Only as far as Brown. About 25 yards from goal. Out towards the far side, Bahoya. Up against Sabitzer. He's gone for the curler, but he's got it all wrong. And it's gone high into the away section at the Signal Iduna Park. High, wide, and not so handsome. Out of play for a goal kick. Positive signs, though, from Eintracht Frankfurt, which would certainly please Albert Riera. Crossfield switch there from Bayer was a little bit short, but Anton got his head to it. And Reggiani comes forward with it now. Plays it back to the feet of Waldemar Anton. He's just lightly jogging here as he brings it towards this near side. Schlotterbeck sends it forward to Inacio, who beats Bellingham. And now here is Bayer down the line now for Guirassy, using his body against Koch. He's done well, Guirassy. He's gone down and he's won the free kick, but I think the referee's played the advantage. Inacio keeps hold of the ball and he is nudged to the floor, and that's going to be another free kick now given for BVB, right under the nose of Niko Kovac. Of course, Niko Kovac was formerly the manager of Eintracht Frankfurt. Won 32 of his 81 matches in charge before getting the move to Bayern Munich in 2018. Left Frankfurt with a DFB Pokal trophy, though, which was something that Dortmund have been craving for since the 2020-2021 season. Here is Brown over on the far side. Reggiani's come across to thump that one out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in out on the far side. The last touch came off of a Frankfurt player, incidentally, so Rierson's picked up the ball. About the halfway line, throws it back infield to Brandt. His pass, though, gets away from Bellingham, but there's Anton to recover. Schlotterbeck plods it forward to Brandt. He plays it towards his near side, and Bayer plays it infield. Inacio looked to turn around the corner. Brandt is going to chase this, but Amenda gets across. He's been forced back towards his own corner flag before playing it infield to Skiri. He goes infield as well towards Brown, and he's going to drive with it. Nathaniel Brown onto Götze. Poked further on for Doan. Götze has continued his run. Doan goes infield instead to Uzun. Gets away from Bellingham. Uzun further on to Kalimuendo. Out on the far side now with Bahoya. Entering the top of the penalty area. Bahoya is going to drive towards the byline. It's put out of play by Zabitzer. Put behind for a corner for Eintracht Frankfurt. Bahoya looking quite positive for the visitors since his introduction. Another corner here for the Adler to get themselves level here at the Signal Iduna Park. There's going to be Can Uzun out there on the far side to take the corner. He's played it short to Doan. He gets it back from the Japanese international. Driving into the penalty area here, Uzun. Has to turn back. Doan's got himself onside. Still out there on the far side of the penalty area. Played into the box now. Kalimuendo. He looked to curl one towards goal, and he went down in the box, but I think he fouled Maxi Bayer in the penalty area, and that's going to be a free kick for Borussia Dortmund. I think Kalimuendo was in a couple minds there. Didn't know whether to play the ball or take the shot on. It instead did neither and fouled Maxi Bayer. So it is going to be a free kick for Dortmund inside their own penalty area, which Korbel will play short. 25 minutes to go at the Signal Iduna Park still. Dortmund 2, Frankfurt 1, as Girassi turns it round the corner, and Brandt will play it forward down the line for Riersson inside the penalty area. His cutback looking for Girassi is stabbed behind and out of play by the retreating Frankfurt defender. Elias Skiri it was, receiving the applause now from his teammates. But again, that run from Riersson towards the byline is causing so many issues for Eintracht Frankfurt. The scarves are twirling in the yellow wall behind Michael Zetterer's goal as Dortmund have yet another corner to attack from. And it's going to be Schlotterbeck to go out there to take it once more. The first corner from him today wasn't the best, it has to be said. Didn't get past the first man at the near post. Dortmund will be hoping his second corner is going to be a bit better. Girassi is of course going to be a target in there. Reggiani also a target with his side. Schlotterbeck curls one in towards that near post. It's flicked on and off the post before being hooked clear by Amenda. I think Brandt it was that got the flick on. It just bounced in front of Zetterer and it hit the post. Maybe kissed it before Frankfurt cleared their lines. Dortmund still have the ball though, here with Inacio. He pokes it out wide. Riersson fizzes it back to Brandt. And now here is Anton. Forward to Bellingham. Reggiani. Out it goes to the far side touchline. Riersson plays it back to Zabitzer and Bellingham. And Reggiani once more. He chips it back into his own half. Anton miscontrolled it, but Korbel's there to recover. Back out it goes towards Reggiani over on the far side. Now here with Anton. And again with Reggiani, and again now with Waldemar Anton. Drives away from Kalimuendo. Plays it along the halfway line to Reggiani. He fizzes it infield. Girassi with a nice touch. Setting up for Zabitzer, who lofts it forward for Girassi again, who couldn't bring it down. And Zetterer's there to pounce on the loose ball. I don't think Girassi knew where that ball was. He was looking mainly at the Frankfurt defender Amenda, and it bounced right in front of him. He didn't bring it under control. And Zetterer's there to pounce on the loose ball. A lifeline there for Frankfurt. Clearance made by Koch towards the halfway line. Kalimuendo couldn't bring it down. And the ball is turned away by Brandt to his goalkeeper Gregor Kobel. Dortmund just keeping things ticking here at the Signal Iduna Park. They're still leading by 2-1. Down the line from Reggiani. That's just going to beat Julian Brandt to the ball. It'll trickle out of play slowly for a throw-in, which Brown's taken quickly. Teyat will play it back towards Zetterer. Towards the near side here with Amenda. On it goes to Uzun. Fizzed into the feet of Götze. Doan looked to take it beyond Bayer. The ball stayed in play on this near side before being thumped forward. Chase on here for Kalimuendo, and Korbel's misjudged it. The ball's bouncing around, but fortunately for Dortmund, Schlotterbeck is there to nod it back into his own penalty area. Into safety there. Korbel and Kalimuendo, I think, maybe clashed heads there as they went up for the ball, but both seem to be fine. And there's no real danger now for Borussia Dortmund as they are calmly dealing with the ball just inside their own half. Bayer to the feet of Girassi, who's come very deep once more to get involved in the action. 20 minutes to go here at the Signal Iduna Park. Reggiani drives forward into the centre circle now. Bellingham onto Schlotterbeck towards this near side. Down the line here for Bayer. Level with the 18-yard box. His cross is blocked by Doan. Comes back out to Schlotterbeck, who'll cross it in deep towards the back post. Ryerson was there, and the last touch comes off of the Norwegian and goes up into the yellow wall and out of play for a goal kick. Ryerson maybe lunged a bit too much there. I think he felt something in his right leg, but Dortmund are now going to ready the changes themselves. I see Felix Metscher and Karim Adeyemi ready to come on for the Schwarz-Gelben as Zetterer clears his lines. Long for Amenda, who's gone up to be a second striker almost. Taken down now by Inacio in the middle of the park. Onto Bellingham. And now here with Maximilian Bayer. Onwards to Schlotterbeck. And now turned round the corner by Brandt. Onto Ryerson on the far side touchline. Infield to Bellingham. Backwards it goes to Reggiani, and now towards this near side here with Schlotterbeck. Clipped forward by Bayer, but that's intercepted by Skiri. Turn around the corner now by Uzun. Under pressure from three Dortmund players, and Inacio's come away with it. Driving towards the penalty area. Inacio drives in towards the penalty area. He goes down. Play continues though, because Bayer puts it back, and there's Inacio! He's got his goal at last! The youngster from the academy in front of the yellow wall gives Dortmund the 2-goal cushion and a 3-1 lead. What a special moment for the young 18-year-old Samuele Inacio, who made his first start in the last home game for BVB, where they won by 4-0 against Freiburg. He just missed out on a goal there, but he's not going to make the same mistake now. Brilliant cutback from Maxi Bayer, right onto the foot of Inacio, who guides it in through the back of the net. No chance for Zetterer to get down enough, and in front of the yellow wall, it's every young kid's dream to score in front of the yellow wall, and Samuel Inacio has done just that. In just his 6th appearance for the first team, Samuel Inacio bags his first professional goal. And Dortmund now are going to make the changes, and it's going to be one final walk off the pitch in a Dortmund shirt at the Signal Iduna Park for Julian Brandt. He is receiving a standing ovation from everyone wearing black and yellow this evening. The man with the captain's armband is being serenaded off the pitch by the yellow wall and by everyone associated with Dortmund. He makes his final bow at the Signal Iduna Park. He's come off, and on comes one of his best friends at Borussia Dortmund, Karim Adeyemi. there was only one change that could make sense for Dortmund. The other change, incidentally, was Joe Bellingham coming off for Felix Metscher. Straight swap in midfield there. A straight swap in the forward line with Brandt off for Adeyemi. Here's Bahoya, meanwhile, for Frankfurt, trying to dance his way through the penalty area. Anton had to get across and clear his lines. Schlotterbeck, meanwhile, is down inside the penalty area for Dortmund, clutching his right arm by the looks of it. He's now taken over the captain's armband from Julian Brandt. It was maybe an awkward landing. Ooh, there's a very awkward landing on that right elbow for Nico Schlotterbeck, and he's clutching now up towards his right shoulder. So hopefully that's not a dislocation or anything like that. But what a moment for Samuele Inacio. In front of the yellow wall, guiding one into the bottom corner and wheeling away in celebration. And could that be the writing on the wall for Albert Riera in his post as Eintracht Frankfurt manager? Schlotterbeck is back up on his feet now, still wincing in a bit of pain, holding his right shoulder. It's a throw-in actually over on the far side for Frankfurt, which is taken by Brown. Back towards Teat, inside the centre circle now with Amenda. Back out towards the far side here with Teat. Adeyemi applied the pressure. Backwards it goes all the way to Michael Zetterer. He's going to send it long, looking for the run of Kalimuendo. Anton will nod it away. Metscher gets his body across, but the offside flag goes up against, I think that was Kalimuendo. And we are going to see another pair of changes for Eintracht Frankfurt. Ansgar Knauf and Ayub Amemuni Eshkuyab are coming on, and one of the players coming off is the opening goal scorer Can Uzun, who gave Frankfurt the lead inside 80 seconds with a lovely curled finish into the far corner. And for a brief moment it looked like Frankfurt were the dominant side before they slowly unravelled at the end of the first half. Arnold Kalimuendo is the other player to be withdrawn. So Ayub Amemuni Eshkuyab and Ansgar Knauf are on for Can Uzun and Arnold Kalimuendo. Looks like Ansgar Knauf is going to play as the sole striker here for Frankfurt, which is an interesting move by Albert Riera. Bayer will play it back towards the feet of Anton. Dortmund are going to prepare a double change of their own. Another double change. I see Fabio Silva and Zali Özcan stripped and ready to come on for Borussia Dortmund. Zali Özcan is also another player departing Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season, as Adeyemi couldn't keep the ball in play. The throw-in for Frankfurt. They took it a bit too quickly because Patrick Ittrich has now gone to this near side touchline where we are going to see those two changes. It is Marcel Sabitzer and Serhou Girassi who will make way for both Zali Özcan and Fabio Silva. Girassi, the goal scorer for the equaliser on the 42nd minute. He will make way for Fabio Silva. And Marcel Sabitzer, another lung-busting performance in midfield. He comes off as Zali Özcan makes his final bow at the Signal Iduna Park. Joined the club in 2022 from 1. FC Köln, did Zali Özcan. Has been with the club for every season bar the second half of last season when he spent that on loan at VfL Wolfsburg. He's going to get some game time now in the middle of the park on his final home appearance for the Schwarz-Gelben. Chested down here by Doan under pressure from Bayer. He went down and the referee says ball was won, and Özcan will slide it through towards Rierson over on the far side, but Bahoya, using that excessive amount of pace, gets back and deals with the danger. Zetterer clears it further forward. Reggiani brings it down. Here is Özcan Plays it back towards Anton, and now here's Schlotterbeck again. Just shimmies it forward towards Inacio. And Özcan brings it towards this near side. Here is Schlotterbeck. Plays it back infield towards Mecha. Schlotterbeck takes over once more on this near side. Zapata just making his way round towards this near side to get back to the benches after exiting the pitch over on the far side. Mecha with a lovely turn in the middle of the park, and he keeps forward, driving forward with it. Sliding one through, looking for Bayer, and Mendes come across, has a slide and put it behind for another corner for Borussia Dortmund. We'll wait and see if Niklas Süle will be called upon for Borussia Dortmund. Of course, he announced he's going to retire at the end of this season, citing injury-related concerns at just 30 years old. It is a sad way to call it quits on your footballing career, but he is a 5-time German champion as well as a 2-time DFB Pokal winner from his time at Bayern Munich. Corner then, which Julian Rierson will take. Right-footed in-swinger from this near side. It goes towards the middle of the 6-yard box, thumped away by Amenda, only as far as Adeyemi, who brought it down on the edge of the penalty area. Backwards it goes to Özcan. He fizzed it out to the youngster Inacio. Özcan brings it to the near side for Anton. Turning away from Bahoya. Back it goes to Kobel. Now driving forward with it is Reggiani. Good sliding challenge there from Knauf to win the ball back, I thought. But the referee, Patrick Ittrich, has blown for a free kick in favour of BVB. It was a late whistle, I must say, from Patrick Ittrich. And on the replay, it looked like Ansgar Knauf had won the ball there. But the ref cam angle that's just popped up on the monitor saw the angle that Patrick Ittrich had, and I'm not sure if I agree with the free kick decision there. Either way, Dortmund will play it out towards the far side. Silva looked to get it back towards Rierson out there, but it's won back by Frankfurt. Chip forward towards Amemuni Eshguyab. Maxi Bayer's come across to thump it away with his left foot down the line. It's going to be a chase for Silva, but a heavy touch from Koch forces a throw-in, which Inacio's taken quickly, looking for the run of Fabio Silva, but it's covered off by Skiri. And in fact, actually, the referee has said it's a foul throw from Samuel Inacio. He didn't have both feet planted at the time of the throw-in, so it will go Frankfurt's way. And they're going to make one final change. Ritz Doan goes off, and on comes Jonathan Burkhardt for Eintracht Frankfurt. So now he should take up the sole striker position while Ansgar Knauf goes out wide on the right. That's the final alteration made by Vieira, and the chip ball has found Ansgar Knauf, actually driving towards the penalty area here. Still has it, Knauf pulls it back towards the penalty spot where Bahoya finds Burkhardt, who chips it into the penalty area again, but there's no one in a white shirt to recover. Offside flag goes up in the end against Ansgar Knauf from the initial run made into the penalty area, but wow, Frankfurt with a good opportunity there to make things interesting between the two. Burkhardt with his first involvement of the game. And Albert Riera looks very pensive on this near side touchline. Just one game left for these two sides next Saturday. Dortmund on the road in Bremen against Werder Bremen. Meanwhile, Frankfurt will close out the season at home against the Champions League hopefuls VfB Stuttgart. Özcan to Mecha and Rierson. He goes down over on the far side. No foul, says the referee. It's going to be a throw-in instead for Eintracht Frankfurt. Rierson not too happy with that non-decision, but the Südtribüne is bouncing. So too are the west and east stands here at the Signal Iduna Park. Dortmund know that this result will consolidate second place for them in the table. That ball will trickle out of play for another throw-in over on the far side. For Frankfurt, meanwhile, they're going to keep their eyes behind them with the race for the final European spot on, as Amenda, under a lot of pressure from Ignacio on the edge of the penalty area, just about gets it away, but retrieved now by Mecha. Plays it out towards the far side. Adeyemi cuts inside on his left foot, edge of the D with Mecha, who tried to do a fancy flick there, but there was no one in yellow to pick up the pieces, and now here come Frankfurt. Götze has to slow the counter-attack down a bit here because there weren't many numbers forward for Eintracht. And Brown has to play it backwards now towards Zetterer. Skiri prods it forward to Götze. Brown under pressure, had to just about get it away there. He's gone down and won a free kick. Rierson, the offender, and not pleased with the decision whatsoever, but the free kick is awarded. As I said, Frankfurt are going to have to keep their eyes behind them because as it stands, Augsburg are still only 3 points off of the Adler in 8th place. Freiburg currently occupying that final European spot in 7th place, which as it stands would go to the Conference League. But of course Freiburg can still win the Europa League and qualify directly for the Champions League. Here's Amemuni Eshkuyab, dances away from Bayer. He's kept it in play there, but the cross goes straight into the midriff of Gregor Kobel. And he will slow things down once more. Another one of the youngsters bought from the lower tiers of German football, Ayub Amemuni Eshkuyab, signed from the second team of Hoffenheim, who were performing well in the Dritte Liga. He's been thrusted into the first team here at Frankfurt. He's made a good impression in the 16 matches he's played. Here's Knauf, meanwhile, driving into the penalty area. Tries to poke one through, and it's got through the legs of Kobel into the path of Jonathan Burkhardt. And he tucks it away into the empty net. And all of a sudden, we've got a game on here at the Signal Iduna Park. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Dortmund 3, Frankfurt 2. A good pass from Nathaniel Brown into the path of Knauf, who got away from Schlotterbeck. The ball bounces off of the toe of Kobel right into the path of Jonathan Burkhardt. And as I said, an empty goal. There was no chance Burkhardt was missing that. Goal number 11 for the summer arrival from Mainz. And as I said, it's game on all of a sudden here in the 87th minute. Dortmund 3, Frankfurt 2. And everyone's got a little bit more pensive and on edge inside the Signal Iduna Park. Fabio Silva has it. Turning away from trouble, slips and loses his footing. And now here come Frankfurt. Here with Burkhardt. Space over on the far side for Bahoya to drive towards the penalty area. Bahoya shifts onto his right foot. Curls one, and it's just a whisker away. I thought for a second it found the back of the net with Kobel rooted to the spot, but it's curled just a whisker away from that far post. Dortmund falling asleep at the back. Frankfurt almost drawing themselves level. And in the 88th minute, Dortmund are going to make their final change. And it is going to be the final appearance at the Signal Iduna Park for Niklas Süle. He's going to come on for the final few moments as Luca Reggiani will be withdrawn. A straight swap in defence. And as Niklas Süle makes his way onto the pitch, he is warmly applauded by the Dortmund fans. As I said, he's announced his retirement. He announced it earlier this week, and he has his final appearance at the Signal Iduna Park. He's going to look to try and close this game out here, with Frankfurt knocking on the door of an equaliser. Long ball pumped forward by Kobel, flicked on by Özcan. Silva couldn't bring it down under control, and all of a sudden it's drilled forward. Amemuni Eshkuyab on the chase, but Kobel will beat him to it inside the penalty area, and he calms things down once more. Anton plays it back to the feet now of Kobel. Under pressure from Knauf towards his near side. Schlotterbeck tips it down the line Silva used his body well there, but the referee has given a free kick. Niko Kovac sarcastically applauding the decision from Patrick Itrich. Free kick given though, and Frankfurt have taken it quickly. Out towards the far side with Teat. Down the line here for Bahoya. He's played a loose ball though, and Silva's won it back. Adeyemi flicks it away. He's played a loose ball. Knauf went for the chase there. The last touch came off of Anton, I think. And the ball has gone out of play for a Dortmund throw-in. I think he's got a final touch off of Jean-Matteo Bahoya. And it is going to be a throw-in for BVB into the final of the 90 minutes that we've played here at the Signal Iduna Park. It's still Dortmund 3, Frankfurt 2. Still the game on a knife edge. Long throw from Rierson, flicked forward by Silva. Cleared away, picked up by Özcan now. Towards the near side, Schlotterbeck will drive with it. He chips it forward, looking for the run of Maxi Bayer. Stretching his legs, nodding it on. Bast Amenda. The ball's gone out of play for a goal kick. 4 added minutes to play. Plenty of time here for Frankfurt to grab a late leveller. Down the line from Amenda. Götze. Amemuni Eşkıyap turns away from Bayer. He was fouled by Maxi Bayer. It's going to be a free kick. And I think Samuel Inacio is going to get a yellow card for time wasting, and indeed he is, after picking up the ball and preventing Frankfurt from taking the free kick quickly. The youngster goes into the book. Second yellow of the season for him. Frankfurt still waiting to take this free kick, but now Itrich gives them the signal. It's short from Amenda. Into the centre circle for Nathaniel Brown. Out towards the far side, Teat. Down the line for Bahoya. He skips away from Rierson. He's nudged in the back, but the referee says get up. And Rierson tries to come forward with it. He's lost out though. Bahoya's recovered in the middle of the park. Driving forward towards his near side. Amemuni Eşkıyap was the target, but well read by Maxi Bayer. But he's given the ball away now. Picked up again by Frankfurt in the middle of the park. Brown with a heavy touch. And now Dortmund come back again with it. The pass from Silva is straight to a Frankfurt player. Neither side want to keep hold of the ball here. Skiri. Infield to Brown. Koch plays it out towards the far side. Flicked round the corner by Götze. A chase on here for Zula up against Burkhardt. But Niklas Zula gets across. And it's cannoned into the path of Burkhardt. And they've kept it alive momentarily. But the clearance from Anton ricochets off of Frankfurt's number 9 and goes out of play for a goal kick. Albert Riera watching on as Jonathan Burkhardt brought Frankfurt back into the game. Of course, they were at the centre of some reports about a training ground bust-up a couple of weeks ago. Albert Riera quashed that in his press conference against Hamburg last weekend. And Burkhardt, as a substitute, has come back into the game to give hope to the Adler. It's a throw-in on the far side for BVB. Rierson is telling Özcan what he's going to do. He's going to send it as far down the line as he possibly can. Looking long for Silva. It's bounced in between himself and Inacio. Gone all the way through to Zetera, who had to clear his lines before Adeyemi slid in there. Amenda keeps it away from Inacio. On it goes to Skiri. Into the final of the 4 added minutes. Teat just about kept hold of the ball. Comes to the near side with Amenda. Driving into the Dortmund half. Down the line. Amemuni Eşkıyap keeps hold of the ball. Up against Adeyemi. Still has it. Towards his near side corner flag. He can't keep the ball in play. He claims of a foul, but he's not going to get it. And the ball goes behind for a goal kick. And Dortmund will certainly take their time before kicking this ball long. Question maybe if there was actually a foul there by Schlotterbeck. A yellow card has been brandished to someone. I didn't quite see who it was. I assume it's Gregor Kobel for time wasting. He's now kicked it long anyway. Yeah, indeed it was Kobel that got booked. Flick on by Özcan in the direction of Silva. Picked up by Frankfurt though. Not much time left for the Adler. It has to go forward. Teat plays it short to Skiri. Out towards the far side here with Götze. Down the line for Bahoya. Götze loses the ball, and that's going to trickle out of play for a throw-in. We've gone past the 4 added minutes here at the Signal Iduna Park. Everyone is waiting for that final whistle. Niko Kovac asking the question to the 4th official. And still we go on. Throw in over on the far side. Ryerson taking as much time as he can before launching it long down the line. Intercepted by Frankfurt. Skiri hooks it up in the air. Thumped away by Schlotterbeck. Tested down by Özcan. The referee blows for full time. And Dortmund squeak out one final home win of the season. They made it tense towards the end, but throughout the game they looked comfortable. After going down early thanks to Can Uzun's 2nd minute goal, they turned it around quickly at the end of the first half. Girassi with the leveller, Schlotterbeck with the go-ahead goal on the stroke of half-time. And then into the second half, Samuele Inacio made it 3-1 with his first goal in professional football. Jonathan Burkhardt made it interesting in the 87th minute when he pulled one back for Eintracht Frankfurt. But Dortmund hold on for a final 3 points at home, which sees them consolidate 2nd place in the Bundesliga table. It's finished at the Signal Iduna Park. Borussia Dortmund 3,